of Meet HKU Startup Founders, presented by iDendron. Please hit share right now, tag your friends. Invite someone who is interested in this conversation. We will talk about mental health innovation tonight. Also, please tell us where are you watching from. Ask questions to our guests on the comment sections, or tweet with hashtag HKU iDendron. Our show will start in 1 minute. Tonight we will have Hollo. Please hit share right now. Tag your friends, someone who is interested in mental health and technology. Our show will be on live soon. So please share this post, invite your friends, say hi to our guests today. Good evening. Hello, everyone. It's 8 p.m. in Hong Kong here, 1 p.m. in London, and 8 a.m. in New York. Welcome to our weekly show, Meet HKU Startup Founders, presented by iDendron. My name is Lawrence Tang from iDendron, the HKU Innovation and Entrepreneurship Hub. I'm honored to moderate the discussion tonight brought by iDendron. This is part of a series for all of us to learn more about the works, the idea of HKU entrepreneurs and innovators. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and our homepage. Please share this post right now, tag your friends. Tell us where are you watching from. Prepare questions for our guests on the comment sections or tweet with hashtag HKU iDendron. So tonight we will talk about the mental health problems and the possible innovations through technology. We have the perfect guests for this topic tonight. Our three guests tonight are Cameron, Ajit, and Piyush, the three co-founders of Hollo. Hollo won the 2020 Microsoft Imagine Cup World Champion with a mental health companion web application leveraging the Azure Analytics and AI services to advance youth therapy practices. They are the first team from Hong Kong to have won the World Champion from Microsoft since the launch of the competition in 2003. So really, as the member of HKU, we are really proud of them to have such achievement in the international competitions. So let us welcome the three co-founders tonight. Welcome, Cameron, Ajit, and Piyush. How are you doing?
Hi. We're doing pretty good.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Say again. Yeah.
We're doing pretty good.
So I know, like, all of you have been very busy. Could you introduce yourself a bit and tell us what are you working on recently?
Sure. So I'm a molecular biology and biotech major here at HKU, but I'm also doing science entrepreneurship. And so I'm currently year 4, doing an extra year. And I'm the original founder of Hollo, and then these guys are my co-founders. So started around 2 years ago. But I lead as a CEO, I lead the business side. I wear a lot of hats, and yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm Piyush, and I was a final year engineering computer science student at HKU for 4 years. I just graduated, and now I'm going to be working as a co-founder and CTO at Hollo. Currently, my major roles include working on the artificial intelligence and data analytics, as well as big data handling part of the application. So that's what I've been doing since past 2 to 3 years, and I have extensive experience through different internships and jobs in this domain. And so I hope to continue doing it over here in Hollo.
Cool. You're in the middle of the quarantine, right?
Yes.
So Ajit, tell us more about you.
Hi, so I'm Ajit. I'm the CIO of Hollo. I finished my 3rd year of university in the University of Hong Kong as a computer science student. I took 1 year off just now to finish my internship, and with that comes a lot of experience that I can bring to the table I know a lot of project management. That's what I'm handling here. I'm also helping to handle the all the user experience, the dashboards, the mobile app, and the white label solutions that we'll be offering soon.
Cool. So I knew you guys are tackling the mental health problem, and we all know that mental health problem become a burden to our society. Even our Dean of Medicine, Professor Gabriel, said that like this is an epidemic of mental health issues linked to serious societal event last year. And apart from the social events, we also have the COVID-19, the social distancing and isolation measures. Also poses a lot of anxiety, loneliness, and fear to the people, which give mental health problem. So can you share your insights, like tell us more about the problem you are going to solve? Any story behind which motivates you to solve this problem? Yeah, you have to.
Oh, yeah. So mental health is something that's been very serious all around the world, and I think around 500 million people worldwide are experiencing it at any point in time. And in the US alone, they're spending like $3.5 trillion annually. So it's a pretty significant issue, not just socially, but financially as well. And so part of what we recognized was this large service gap that existed. And so a lot of patients felt like they were not really sure about their condition. They were sort of unaware. And even if they were reporting to a therapist, they often were quite biased. And so when we talked to a lot of therapists and NGOs, we found that they felt like it was a really time-consuming process. And so we wanted to be able to help them with the diagnosis and checking in with their patients. And so originally the idea started as sort of like just a therapist to patient WhatsApp or platform, kind of like Airbnb, but for therapists. But we kind of pivoted a lot of the way because we felt like it wasn't innovative enough. It wasn't really addressing that sort of pain point. And so what we wanted to do was really find a way to help achieve or tackle that pain point. And we decided to eventually go for a technological route. And so originally, I really was inspired to keep working on this because I actually lost one of my friends in 2018, around the time when I started the project. And it kind of drove me to really try to find a reason why this still happens in society and how we can really improve this sort of industry at the moment.
Cool, perfect. So we understand the service gap. So I know you are leveraging the technologies and the apps and also other kind of AI image recognition stuff. Can you also explain your solution? How does it work and what is the whole user experience and journey about that part?
Yeah. So I think what we were going for was really trying to make sure that we're supporting this early intervention through the use of behavioral data. And so the way that we tried to do that was making it super simple, being as simple as recording, reviewing, and reacting to their mental health condition. And so the first part of the app is really the screening technology that we developed. And so we were able to really identify the sort of emotions in the person during this initial check-in phase, where we can analyze their sort of sleep quality and heart rate analysis, which has been known to be an indicator of stress in variability, and comparing this in an algorithm that works with machine learning and AI to really understand this person's holistic mental health. And I think Piyush probably wants to add to that, really.
So actually, we're working on quite a bit of different and interesting models. So our app is able to identify your heart rate and correlate it with your stress through heart rate variability. And it does it with a considerable accuracy. And at the same time, it does not require you to wear wearables like an Apple Watch or something to monitor your health, making it super accessible. So we have been working on this algorithm for a while, trying to tune it and make it better, enhance its accuracy. At the same time, we have a classification model which really helps you to find out, based on all this big data that we collect through different reacting and recording methods, and really pinpoint what sort of stress and to what extent your anxiety or depression symptoms lie, and also helps you provide or suggest certain therapy paths that users can choose to take online, and even reports this data back to NGOs and therapists for sort of like a good platform where everyone can come collaborate together, and the therapists can get access to this vital data, which is not really being done before anywhere through any other apps.
Yeah. So what we're really trying to do is support the NGOs through the use of the data and kind of create a something called a CRM, a customer relationship management, and be able to handle a lot of their case management, a lot of their admin services to really provide that additional service and focus on that digital transformation. And that's where a lot of NGOs find a lot of value in our application, is that it adds to this sort of initial screening phases and monitoring over time, so that they can really improve their use of resources, find out what kind of high-risk cases there are, find out who really needs the help more, and what kind of intensity they need it at. Because in say, for instance, even in Hong Kong, the mental health support system isn't that great, but there are even worse off countries. So when you want to focus your resources in this sort of industry, you got to be very selective sometimes, and to really help reduce that waiting time that we experience in like the public healthcare sector, for instance, we can really help reduce that waiting time with the technology that we develop.
I see. So so in short, like making use of the mobile phone, the camera, you take the different data sets, including the face and the heart rate, and so you add on all the data point, and then you make a sort of summary and an initial assessment for the therapist, right? And so I'm interested that like with all the data you get, so you have to label the data at your backend to train your model, so make it more accurate and effective, right? So right now, how do you label the data?
So it's actually pretty interesting. So we have been doing this for, I think, past 4 to 5 months while developing our models. So a lot of this is actually collected through our users who are sort of in the beta testing process. So these are people we know, people who are interested in giving us the data. And as for the labeling, once we get this data, our models analyze and we pass this data through volunteers and mental health professionals who sort of have an insight after viewing the person and viewing the data that this is probably the kind of symptoms it is falling in the line of. And this forms basically our baseline into what sort of clinical diagnosis or pre-diagnosis we are looking for.
I see. Right now, how big is your data set right now?
So at the moment, we are working with around 350 users, and we are actually in talks to significantly increase it to around 1,000 to 2,000 in August.
I see. So right now you still need a lot of data,
yes,
to make your models and algorithm works. So I think everyone in the future can help the friends and people watching right now can help to trial your stuff, so you can get more data, right? So just make a call. So everyone who is watching right now, please leave your questions or just say hi to our co-founders who are very bright Hong Kong U students right now, and they are really inspiring and spend a lot of effort to working on something, helping the people and tackling the mental health problem, which is really popular right now. So let's go to the next questions. Because I asked about the data set, and then how do you make sure that your screening through your camera is correct and will not lead to some false detection? Because if someone is fine and you tell him or her you are not okay, then he or she will be more into depression or stressful, right? So how do you make sure that you won't have false detection?
So part of that is really user experience. We want the users to actually feel like they're in control of the data, and that even if we have detected something that's false, the experience of the app will be guiding them to not automatically assume it's correct. They can actually edit as well. They can edit what they think is the real response, and that's actually helping us too. We can fine tune our model even more to, in the future, even solve these edge cases and always have a proper detection. So it's really a win-win by nailing the user experience.
Cool, I see. How about the privacy issues? Like you are collecting a lot of like headshots of people, and then assume that they have to fill in some of the personal information. So how do you make sure that the privacy part can be assured in watertight procedures?
So the privacy part is something we're taking into consideration all the time. From the very beginning till even now, we have not ever looked at privacy as an afterthought. What we're doing specifically to help with privacy is that we are deleting all the videos and photos as soon as you get them. We're only keeping the data points that have no identification towards the photo or video. And also we are making sure we have proper access roles in place. And no matter what, only the proper users that are authorized to see such information can be seeing this information.
Perfect. Yeah, some friends saying hi, and let me pull it up. Oh, you from India? You know him?
She's my aunt.
Oh, your aunt. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Say hello to her.
Hello.
Another one. Sid saying, hi guys, very interesting projects. Wish you all the best for your success. And yeah, I got the questions from the audience. Let me pull it up. So he asked about, is it difficult to get mental health care professional to work with you? Were they eager to join the project, or did you have to offer them something? So yeah, share your experience when you reach out to the professional or the clinician when it comes to mental health. I think they have a lot of concerns, of course.
Yeah, so when we initially reached out, say around 2 years ago, when it was a different model, it was extremely difficult. Basically just cold emails, cold calling people up to see if they're interested in helping out or being a partner in the early stage, and it was really unsuccessful. And so kind of like in business, it's all about who you know. And so we were really fortunate to be able to have a really good supervisor and advisor from the social work department, Dr. Elsie Chien, who introduced us to a lot of counselors and a lot of NGOs that she was a part of before, or even currently is a part of. And so that's kind of how we built up our network, was through connections and warm introductions. And over time, as you sort of build that reputation, a lot of them start emailing me or WhatsApping me and asking to oh, can we join this program? We're super interested to find out more. Yeah.
I see. So that's a privilege to be part of Hong Kong U, I guess. You can also always reach out to the experts and the professors from the faculties. So let us move on. We have talked about your products, and let us talk about the money stuff and the market stuff. So what is the market landscape right now? Can you share a bit?
Yeah. So in the market right now, there's quite a couple of competitors that are, or even the market size really is pretty large in Hong Kong. You may think that mental health care isn't that significant, but actually, even at a modest estimation, we found that the total accessible market is 470 billion Hong Kong dollars, and that's pretty significant. And so, but at the moment, the mental health space in terms of NGO care is pretty small. And so, since the NGOs are currently our first business model focus, we have a pretty limited market size of around only 45 NGOs. But in Hong Kong alone, there are 600 or so schools, and each of these NGOs has around 30 partner schools on average. So it gives us a lot of space to have a large user base, regardless of the number of NGOs. But in terms of,
in terms of you talk about the competitors as well.
Yeah. So in the competitive space at the moment, we found that a lot of the other mood tracking apps or the other CBT chatbot apps, which is cognitive behavioral therapy chatbots, which basically help walk you through your issues using an AI. That was a similar model that we started with, but felt like it wasn't really enough. It wasn't that personalized. A lot of people didn't really felt like it was listening to them. So what we really tried to separate ourselves with was automating this behavioral insights and screening procedure. And so we actually are in line with a lot of research being done in universities for mental health and psychology, where they do research into AI, they do research into data analytics and how it impacts mental health. And so one of our other competitors, I guess, in a way, is like Harvard School of Public Health. They do a lot of research in this area with their BWE project. And hopefully, yeah.
Go on, yeah. Just checking.
So
I think
hopefully,
most of your competitors are doing just you know the chatbot stuff, right? But
yeah.
Chatbot is still a bot, right? But I really appreciate what you have been doing on the behavioral insights and assessment, because that part is the most difficult part, but of course you can use the technology to compensate because when it's come to behavior, most of the clinician they're relying on face-to-face assessment, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you sustain your business model? So who will be your customers?
Yeah. So I think I mentioned it earlier, but we're focusing ourselves, moving away from a software as a service to becoming more of like a business process as a service. And so we're currently targeting NGOs as our first customers because they are super interested in even like co-applying for funding or just applying on their own as partnering with a social enterprise like Hollo, where they're able to secure a larger amount of funding because they're utilizing technology in their practice. So they are really interested in that space. But we are currently...
Yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but we are like investigating other forms of like revenue channels, especially in the corporate wellness space. I think there's a lot of room for us to grow in that area.
Yes, we got a question from Sid as well. He asked about like what is the pricing of your products? Will it be available worldwide? Like
Thanks, Sid.
Probably he want to buy. He wants to buy.
Well, actually, yeah. So the app is actually completely free for all of our users at the moment. So when we do publicly launch, it will be available for anyone to download. Anyone can do their own assessment. And so we're making sure that it's completely accessible for anyone. And hopefully by late September or October, we'll actually be publicly launching the app for everyone to try out. And hopefully by then we'll see a lot of following behind Hollo. It'll be exciting.
Cool. Another questions from the aunt of Ajit. Yeah. How can your I guess she's asking how can your app help us come up from this lockdown and corona depression? Any idea?
Ajit?
No, I'm okay. Cameron can handle that.
Any insights?
Yeah, so
to address these questions? Come out of lockdown and corona depression? You, Joe.
Yeah, so
what we are looking at, as Cameron mentioned, that we are somewhat looking around September, early October for a release. What that would come with is sort of a early diagnosis, so you can keep track of your mental health, which not many people are really aware of. People are starting to keep track of their physical health, like exercise and stuff, but that doesn't really happen for mental health. So in that similar way, you can be more conscious about how you're doing and what activities or what sort of situations are affecting you personally. And that might help you be more aware and be better prepared for what's coming in and how you're feeling. At the same time, you can choose to share your data with a therapist. What that would do is that you can easily reach out to your therapist and probably get the counseling or get the attention that you need, and your therapist will be able to understand you better. So I think this system and this platform in general would definitely help streamline this practice and make the mental health care more accessible to people, and in similar way will probably ease off the pressure from therapists who are trying to handle so many people coming out of the lockdown.
Right.
And also,
yeah, go ahead.
Our co-founder Piyush has actually experienced the lockdown and the coronavirus depression himself. So rest assured, we have empathy as well, that we understand the pain point and we are solving it as effectively as possible.
Yeah. Piyush still got like 5 more days of quarantine, right?
Yes.
Almost there.
Almost.
Yeah, almost there. We got another questions from Jeff. Jeff asking, he is asking about the machine learning techniques that you are using on more technical side. And yeah, how would you validate the prediction by the machine learning with the professional?
Right.
Who will take that? Yeah.
So actually, there's not one machine learning model that we're using here. Overall, it's a tree-based classification model at the back, but actually a lot of data is sourced to different machine learning models. So you talk about sleep quality, it's a different computer vision-based model, again being baseline with the help of people, friends, and volunteers. And you call about the heart rate model, that's another algorithm which is working to give us the heart rate and the stress correlation along with the heart rate. So that's the third model. So we are looking towards like around 4 models which are finally giving us the results. And as to how do we validate the prediction, we basically take the submissions, the video that we get, and the sort of the pattern that we have overall of the daily check-ins with the users. And we take this data to the mental health professional itself and show him, and he helps us benchmark based on the whole week of monitoring the person that what kind of symptoms they might be going through. And this is how we validate that finally this is probably the true label and our predicted label.
I see. Great work. Hi friends, please leave your comments, say hi, or leave any questions to our guest tonight, because we talk about the products, we talk about the products, we talk about the money, and let's just talk about the people. I know a lot of people helping your team. You also mentioned that like some social work or psychologist is helping you. So who are your advisors right now, and how do they help? Yeah, could you share a bit?
Yeah. So we have quite a couple of advisors, partially thanks to iDendron as well. So some of our senior advisors are from the HKU. So Dr. Rocky Lo here, Dr. Elsie Chan, and Professor Paul Yip there. They're all from HKU. So Rocky helps us a lot with our business mindset, what kind of strategies we want to focus on, and really help connect us with a lot of investment opportunities. Because he founded a couple of angel investment foundations. Dr. Elsie Chan helped us connect with a lot of NGOs and really start rolling the ball quite early on with us to really focus on how to help NGOs and how to help the counselors. And Professor Paul Yip here is the director for Center for Suicide Research and Prevention at HKU, and he's really critical in helping us further our R&D in the future. So we're partnering with them and combining our research and development and model development to really push us for a more credible solution that can be seen in a better light by the public. And so some of our other mentors are really supporting us in their own ways. So even just coaching us as founders, Christian Sechi over here from Packpo Box, he's an experienced founder in Hong Kong. So he's been really critical in helping us move forward in our like project management sort of aspect.
Yes, and I see there is a professional counselor, Dalton Lee, is helping you as well. I know you have a video of Dalton. Let us have a quick look and see what is his feedback of your project.
覺得 mental health 其實係一個好 unique 嘅一回事嚟嘅，因為其實就算同一件事發生喺唔同人身上啦，咁其實每個人嘅嗰個感覺 以至到佢哋嘅行為都會好唔一樣。所以我哋會覺得如果有 Hollo 呢個平台啦，可以便利到我哋嘅 client 啦同埋 counsel 啦，攞多啲 data points，譬如佢哋嘅瞓覺嘅質素啦，或者佢哋平時每一日嘅嗰個行為表現，以至到佢哋情緒嘅波動等等，通過佢哋嘅可能一啲科技啦，譬如去可以 track 到我哋嘅 client， 即係每日去咗邊度，會唔會有時間出去公園或海邊，呢啲咁嘅 data points 會令到我哋會有一個更加全面同埋客觀嘅 input， 俾到我哋去到做 download 或者去到做評估 assessment 嘅時候咧，都會更加準確同埋可以做到一個持續嘅 data collection。即係佢哋每一次都要翻嚟喺我哋 counseling room 嗰度 recall 翻佢嗰個禮拜做啲乜，咁可能當中會有 bias， 亦都會有 information 嘅一個 misinterpretation。咁變到其實對於成個 treatment 嚟講，一定會係幫助到好大咯。覺得 mental
Yeah, Cameron.
Yeah, so that was one of our advisors, Delton. He helped us. He's been a really great coach personally for the founders and really helping us understand the needs of the counselors and understand the intricacies of how NGOs operate, and really helped us in that sense. And he's been a great advisor and really helped us push the development of the project.
Yeah, I always think that you really have to talk with the users, because you have two users basically. I mean, the one with mental health problem and the therapist. Only you talk with the users, and you can validate and verify whether your stuff is working or not. And yes, we got a question from Harrison. Harrison is also friends of iDendron. Yeah. He said, "Hi team, congrats again. I'm curious. A person with strong depressive and suicidal symptoms may not show noticeable symptoms even among peers, perhaps also unlikely to seek help or be susceptible for mental health awareness raising. How can we address this user group?"
Yeah, so they're kind of...
Yeah, I remember I asked similar questions before in the interview as well.
Yeah, so they're kind of the most dear sort of user for us is really this sort of person experiencing really serious mental illness. And so something that we really want to encourage people is that the app itself can really help you understand your condition a bit better on your own. And so you can do it in the privacy of your own home. It's your own little safe space where you can understand yourself. And even if you do, it can really show you why you should probably see someone professional that can help you out. And so I think it's a lot of self-learning and self-growth that it can encourage. And hopefully when we build the app even further, it will start to have a bit of a community effect. So we're planning on allowing users to have these mentorship groups where they can talk with real people that have experienced similar conditions and similar issues in life, and they can really empathize and connect with each other, especially when mental health is something that can be so isolating. It can be very beneficial for someone to relate to someone else that's experienced similar experiences. And hopefully we'll be able to help them.
Yeah, and also if you think about it, these are the kind of users that would not even go to therapy because it might be too expensive, or they feel really they don't really understand the mental health issue that they're facing. So in that case, the app is actually the perfect platform. And if we can make it such that the users can really understand, and we will, to make them understand what their next path, next journey will be to improve their mental health, that's the perfect use case.
I think a lot of this problem about not seeking help really comes out of stigma regarding mental health in the society. And especially in the Asian society, we face it a lot, and we do not really want to talk about it or tell about it. And when a user or a person is really going through that period, I think app is something which is very private to you. Your phone is really personal. And that's where you can it can be like an introduction for the person who's not really willing to seek help to just try to see what's happening to him. And maybe that can be a stepping stone for people people who are not really willing to come out to just start with therapy.
Yes, I think all of you have mentioned the stigmatization, or people, they don't really aware that they have mental health. I think right now the situation is changing. People is more open-minded to this kind of problems, and I think ultimately if we can make it like using your app or mental health assessment is like going on a way. Like right now we will check do we get like a bit fatter or lighter, go on the weight, so we have to do more exercise every month. And like your app, I can check every month with my mental health status, so I know that whether I'm mentally healthy or not, or there is something is going wrong, and I have to work on it. Yes. So I think your app is a really good starting point to lower the threshold for mental health assessment, instead of you have to go to the clinician or book a doctor to talk with. Yes, and other questions like what is the age group you are targeting? And how about old age related mental issues? Oh, I think the old age one is much more complicated, right? You have to unmute yourself first, Cameron.
Sorry. Yeah. So actually, thank you, Sid. That's a great question. So right now we're targeting a lot of the youth because they're the easiest right now to engage with in terms of the NGOs that we're working with, and in terms of accepting technology. But obviously, the geriatric or old people's mental health is also very important. And so we do actually have a couple of NGO projects that are reaching out to us to talk about how we can interact with them and make it accessible for old people. And I think it can be very promising, especially if you make the UX and focus on that UX to make sure that it's accessible for the old person, whether it's like font size or just the ease of using the app is very important. And so the kind of the beauty of the technology that we're developing is that the algorithms can continue to be trained and specified for like age groups, genders, and skin tones, for example, for the AI vision. So the model itself can kind of be developed and built on as we work more and more with a lot of NGOs and age ranges.
I see.
I just want to thank Sid. He's actually my family friend, and he's been really, really supportive. He has asked 2 questions as well. Thank you.
Cool. So what is your next step? Any milestones ahead?
Yeah. So you can kind of see it a little bit here, but our timeline for the next couple of months is really to put our heads down and work really hard on getting that prototype and proof of concept ready. And so we're really aiming for the end of year to be able to publicly launch our app, where we can really build our user base and grow as a company, and kind of expand into other revenue channels, because we really want to be able to move to other countries, Yeah, so for example, on screen here you see in 2021 we want to be securing our seed round, and hopefully by that point we'll be having a lot of staff on hand that are working full time, and hope we see ourselves growing really fast. So that's why you can see us trying to aim for 2023 for a Series B round, where we can really be moving into other countries, not just in Asia, but in the US or even Europe.
Cool. And you guys also working with some of the NGOs with pilot programs, right?
Yeah. So these pilot programs are really to get the data that we need to train the models, as well as a proof of concept for the NGOs themselves. And so at the moment, we're testing with 2 of the NGOs. We're in talks with, I think, like 6 more projects to recruit them into the testing programs, because they're super interested. And so at the moment, we're testing with around 340 to 350 users. And hopefully soon we'll actually be upping those numbers quite a bit.
Cool. I know that we also got a video with the feedback from one of the NGO you have been working with. Let us take a look.
Christina 心係新嘅創辦人啦，咁我哋係主要做心理教育、領養服務同埋一啲哀傷輔導嘅。咁作為創辦人，其實我好想將心係心喺香港有好多發揮嘅機會嘅。咁但係同其他嘅 NGO 一樣，無論大嘅 NGO 同細嘅 NGO 其實都會遇到 人手嘅短缺啦、resources 嘅不足啦。好高興咧，我有機會咧認識到 Hollo， 咁係我哋嘅新嘅朋友嚟嘅。我諗我哋嘅合作，如果將來可以成功咧，我諗其實可以真係令到我哋嘅社會上邊好多人會受惠啦。NGO 我哋可能係一個starting point 啦，但我哋希望我哋嘅合作，我哋兩邊嘅一啲 values 其實可以互相要多啲 chemistry， 我哋亦都可以將呢件事一路做得更加好，令到唔係淨係heart to heart，唔係淨係香港嘅 NGO 我先可以用到呢一個technology， 發放可能可以再放去世界其他地方，咁或者甚至係唔同嘅界別去用。
Yeah, I think everyone is looking forward to working with you guys. And yes, we have a lot of comments and questions. I think we have a few minutes left, and yeah, let's send us more questions and comments so we can go in one go. Let's see. Bernadette is a very great supporter of iDendron. It's a very meaningful project. Add oil, 加油. And we have questions from Monica. Monica saying that besides tracking, does your app have mechanism to decide on when and what intervention measures are needed? Like, we will recommend what kind of intervention to the users.
Yeah, 100%. And that's kind of the main role of the technology, is to suggest what kind of treatment is more appropriate for the intensity of symptoms or what kind of symptoms. And so that symptom map that we're building up is really able to give us a grading and understanding of the person's general overall emotional status. So the mechanism to decide on what kind of interventions is what we're building up in close partnership with a lot of the professionals.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you for the questions, Monica. Monica is also one of our colleagues in Hong Kong U and iDendron. And another question is, well, you already get a new data set. How to join to conduct pilot for your organization? So let me pull up the contacts of the Hollo, right? Email you, right?
Yeah. Email me.
Do you have any geographical limitation when it's come to pilot scheme?
No. So at the moment, I don't think we'll have a limitation. Because remote working is so common now, it's definitely something that's very doable.
Yes, this friend say well done.
Thank you.
And Kathy also giving 加油 add oil. And this one, I guess, is one of your friend, right? Hollo team at success, you all grow. Best wishes.
She's my mother.
Or you got all your family's members.
Thank you, Nadini.
Yeah, all fans, right? Let's out some experience for your journey. I guess many of our students and also graduates and staff will be interested in. Your team won the cash prize of $100K US dollars. Is quite a lot of money for a student startup in the Imagine Cup by getting the champion, and also mentoring sessions with the Microsoft CEO, Satya Nadella. Could you share a bit the experience about joining this distinguished competition and getting the champion?
I think it all started in December. So Cameron invited me on the project in September last year, and Imagine Cup deadline usually comes around December. And I have personally been doing Microsoft Imagine Cup for the past 3 years. So it was my third and final chance because I was graduating. And I saw the potential in Hollo as it was something which was reaching out to a lot of people and was solving real problems that have not been addressed. So I advised that we should fill up for this competition, and we went ahead. And I think it helped us really improve our journey quite a bit because we pivoted a lot, we innovated a lot, and we had very critical deadlines. And we made it far to the Asian finals, and we won the Asian finals and moved on to the world finals. And I think the mentorship and the sort of outreach that we got through the competition is something which is going to stay with the project and has given like at least a head start of 1 or 2 years while we lead and develop further for global public release.
Yes, and this is the moment when you get the champion, right? So we can see the left bottom corner is Cameron and left middle is Piyush. though it's a bit pity that you cannot like fly to Seattle for the final, because like they cover all the airfares and then accommodation, and you can wander around in the state as well. But we are facing an unusual moment right now. And in fact, I remember that there are several Hong Kong U teams getting as the representative of the Asia region as well. The Daytex team also won as the representative. I think it's last year, to represent the APAC area to joining the Imagine Cup as well. So I think Hong Kong U teams have been really doing great in the international competition. Like, well done, congratulations. And so anything to add? Like, you guys are demonstrating a perfect sample, like how to start something new during your university time or with your classmates or friends on campus. Any advice to your other Hong Kong youth fellows who are still thinking, I want to do something different, but seems there are different kind of bottlenecks or challenges? Any advice?
Yeah, I'd say just go for it, because it's the best time in your sort of life to really explore what you want to do, find a career path that you feel is more meaningful, that you'd feel happier doing, because in the end, it's really about what motivates you to get up in the morning and go do something, right? And so for me, it was really a large deciding factor for me was that my employment status will never really like change just because I'm doing a startup. So I will always have my degree, and I think part of that is sort of like a safety net for me in a way. But I think being so young, we have that drive, we have that knowledge, we have the backing of the new innovations and technology. We can really try to make the difference that we want to see in society. And I think growing up surrounded by so much social problems and so many like sustainability problems on the earth, we can really, I think we empathize the most because it's the future that we have to live with. And so really making steps to try to change that, I think, is sort of the responsibility of a global citizen.
Cool. Piyush and Ajit?
I think if users if people if students see the need to change the world and they want to be the force that they want to see in the world, that's the best motivation you need, really.
I just say that do not give up, and no idea is too crazy. Like for my example, even with Hollo, I still chose to pursue it to Microsoft Imagine Cup, although I personally lost twice already before. And sometimes even like I came runner-up in Hong Kong in 2018 and I still lost it and I couldn't go to Seattle or World Finals. But I guess not giving up hope and believing in what you're doing is something that can really make a difference. And this is how we have landed up over here. And you're probably watching this for 45 minutes and listening to us. And I think if I would have given hope, I would have never suggested Hollo or my teammates to really pursue this and be so passionate about this. And it has brought us like to a great path. And a lot of it really all boils down to our commitment and our belief in the idea. And no idea is too stupid. So just try to pursue if you believe in it and if you're passionate about it.
Yeah, I always feel much younger after listening all these young people words. So full of wisdom and inspiration. Let's draw a final round of questions. I will ask it in one row and you can address it at the same time as well. Like, how many users do you expect in the first year? And the second question is from Fiona, saying that how can you make sure the data are meaningful to the app users?
Yeah, so first year, we're aiming for very ambitiously around 5,000 users, hopefully. And I think that would be a big task for us, especially in the marketing and traction. In terms of how we make sure the data is meaningful from the users, it's really about that sort of backend that Piyush is building. So how do we sift through the data noise and really make sure that we're confirming and training the model with proper data? And I think that Piyush can really expand on that if you want to.
I'd say that it's also going to be a lot of back and forth between the users and us as a data training model and as like a company, because I think as we go and iterate, like from the current 300 testing users to somewhere around 1,000 and 2,000 and 5,000, we'll really get that important feedback and understand what's really meaningful at the end to the user, what we're showing them in the app. And I think that sort of feedback will be really, really important for us to realize what are the data points that really impact the user experience. And this is what we will do. We will like really use, and going forward, we'll try to make a difference using that.
Yeah, we got the last question from Ying, Master
Chan.
Yeah, your master, Cameron. Like, how did you guys come up with the name Hollo, but not Hello?
Yes, not Hello. So the name actually came when I started the project in year 2 social innovation class. And at the time, I think one of our teammates was like, in Cantonese, there's a phrase "shu long," so that's like tree hole, and that's in Cantonese, that's like someone, or you use it to describe someone that listens to your problems, and you can kind of shout into the tree hole to throw the problems away. And we resonated a lot with that. And so in English, it's tree hollow. And so we wanted it to be a bit shorter and easy to remember. So we cut off the W and just left with Hollo. And it just stuck with us. So yeah.
Great. Yeah, Hollo, because you got 2 O, looks like the eyes and then a logo as well, in fact. And yeah, so a friend saying that if you need any commercialization and help, already people are offering help.
Awesome.
Awesome, yeah. So we are wrapping up right now soon. And any final words or appeal to the audience from the globe? Call for funding, technical mentors, partnership, whatever. Anything you need help?
Yeah, funding is always appreciated. But if you want to send us,
right?
Yeah, send us an email at info@hollo.hk. In terms of partnerships, we're always looking to hear more from talented students, always looking to hear more from industry practitioners, whether you're in corporate, working in like HR for the employment benefit programs, or if you're working as a counselor and you want to find out more about technology, or you're just someone that's intrigued by the technology, just reach out. We're always open to connecting and talking a bit more about the product and meeting everyone.
Cool. So thank you. And yes, please reach out to Hollo. Can I have Hollo contacts again? Yeah, Hollo.
Yeah.
And yeah, they really need help from the industry, from the experts in terms of skills, knowledge, and even funding, because they're still students right now. Hong Kong U, of course, is supporting them very much. And tonight we have Hollo. It's a mental health companion web application leveraging the Azure analytics and AI services to advance youth therapies practices. And they also won the 2020 Microsoft Imagine Cup champion, very distinguished prize. And we have 3 co-founders with us today. And can I have team slide? 3 co-founders with us today. Cameron, the CEO of Hollo, yeah, and Ajit, the CTO, CIO, Chief Innovation Officer of Hollo, and Piyush, the CTO of Hollo. So last but not least, if any Hong Kong U founders watching right now, please let us know if you want to get on the show and let more people know more about your ideas. Reach out to us at iDendron@hku.hk. You can see our email and contact and website, whatever, Facebook, in a rolling banner. Yeah, and we can talk and see how we can help. And thanks again, Cameron, Ajit, and Piyush. Hope you all enjoy, and goodbye, everyone. Good night. Bye. See you.
Take care.
See you next week. Oh, yeah. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Night.